You are listening to the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. And today I am going to be sharing some valuable business lessons with you because once upon a time I was a blogger and I was quite successful for the standards at the time. This was 2015-ish. Bloggers were there, but I don't know, digital businesses weren't exploding all over the place yet. I had quite a successful blog and I mucked it up completely. And worse is that I learned absolutely nothing from that experience because a few years later, I did it all over again. But 2 times a charm. And today I'll be sharing what I learned from this with you. Hi, I'm Ayla, and for over a decade, I've been dedicated to helping entrepreneurs thrive. Welcome to the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. Here, we focus on personal growth so your business can grow alongside you. Discover how to optimize your business, elevate your mindset, and truly feel and act like a CEO. This is more than just business. It's about transforming your entire entrepreneurial journey. Join me on this path to unlock your fullest potential. Welcome back to the podcast, my ladies. Thank you so much for tuning in again with me today. I'm so happy to have you here. It's horrible here. It's raining and it's really like fall is falling hard. And we've been indoors so much that I'm just sitting here in my office looking outside at the trees going, oh, I wish I was there. But on the other hand, it's very good as well because Thursdays are my podcasts and renovation days. And this morning I set out to continue my renovation project that I have upstairs in the hallway. And I'm getting somewhere. I'm still at that stage where you have to make a bigger mess before you see some kind of result, which feels really frustrating because by now I just want to see the results. But I'm making less big of a mess each time that I'm doing it, so I guess that's good. So today's episode, I wanted to talk to you about my 2 failed blogs that I had, my 2 failed businesses, you can say. And I create an outline for a podcast episode because otherwise I'll just be blabbing. And this time it was really difficult because this topic is very close to my heart and I could lead this episode a million different ways. The thing I wanted to talk about today is creating a business out of something that you feel that could be or should be a business, but that's something that's not necessarily aligned with your heart. So basically, purpose-aligned business is, you could say, the main topic. And the funny thing is, I have a database in Notion with all my podcast ideas, and purpose alignment came back multiple times because in very different circumstances, I've thought about this specific topic, so I needed to siphon it down to what I was going to say today. Because it's very double, I feel very much that purpose alignment businesses are the way to go. But it's double because the other day I heard Natalie Ellis on her Boss Babe podcast say that not everything has to be purpose aligned. She said, if you can solve somebody else's problem, then you can build a business on that. And that's so true. I agree with that wholeheartedly, but I also think that it will be much easier, faster, and way more fun when that business also aligns with your purpose, or at least with something you enjoy. So working on something that's not aligned with you, I'm going to come back to the word purpose because that's just summoning the feeling that I'm trying to convey here. Working on something that's not aligned with your heart it will be a drag. It will cost you way more energy than when your business is something that lights your heart on fire, that really gets your boat rocking. And the reason that I'm ending up in this conclusion is the example I have for my blogs. So I had my first blog, I Love Life, which I thought was very clever because my name is Ayla and I love life. So you write it with AY at the beginning instead of an I. So I Love Life. And it did really great until I started to monetize it. That cost me the joy. It had me thinking of subjects that I could monetize, but that weren't really aligned with who I am and what I wanted to accomplish with the blog, which caused it to slowly die because I just couldn't get up in the morning to work on it. And then I started a second blog years later. And I went on to do exactly the same thing. No, it's even worse because I Love Life, at least I started it from the goodness of my heart. But the second blog that I had, I wanted to monetize a blog. I wanted to make easy money online, is basically what it boils down to. But for me, I found out the hard way, you could say, is that it does not work for me if it's not actively helping other people. If it's not giving aha moments and inspiration to change the person reading or listening, it's not giving me joy and motivation, and I can't do it. And then also, I'm very against the culture in which we cheer each other on to buy more stuff, buy culture. And I couldn't get myself into that. I detested the idea of having to decorate for Christmas in September just because I needed to make content for the blog and I needed to sell that through affiliates, and people will start buying stuff for Christmas in like late October, November. So you have to have your Christmas content ready by then. And you see bloggers decorating for Christmas in August and September. And I just want that to be part of the family joy. I don't want to have to do that because I want to make sure that other people go buy more plastic stuff online. So that really went against who I am. And then right now with the Female Entrepreneurs Network, I get up at 6 each morning. I think about ways to get my message to the right people. I think about it all the time. And I get really excited that, as I said, today is renovation and podcast day. And I started out with renovations because I have stuff that needs to dry. Apply that first, let it dry, and then come back to it later. And I really, the entire time I was up there, I was thinking about, yes, I get to record podcasts later on. That's fun. I know that there's a really large group of women out there that I can help with what I know. If I teach them how to do that, their lives will become better. And when their lives become better, their families' lives become better as well. And that just lights my fire. And at the same time, I feel zero shame in selling my services because I know that I deserve to be paid for what I can help them with, because the benefits for them are great too. And my knowledge is coming from a decade of experience of working. And because I'm coming from a place of service, of wanting to help to create a ripple effect, I feel like I can charge for that. I feel like I can show up. And like right now, I'm still starting it up to grow it. It's always been one-on-one until now. So I'm now starting to grow it to a bigger audience, a bigger group, which why I pivoted to English and stuff like that. And it's just, even though I'm currently hardly reaching anyone, it doesn't matter. I'm just so happy to show up, which is such a contrast to the feeling that I had with my blogs. And I think it's just really good to be working on something that is aligned with your purpose, so to say. As I said, I hesitate around definition purpose because I feel like it sounds so definite, like you were born to do something. And if you do anything else, then you're completely out of alignment. Purpose. It sounds so serious. And I asked my good friend ChatGPT to define purpose for me. So here we go. Purpose is the driving force behind what we do, the reason we wake up every morning and take action. It's the deep inner clarity of why you exist and what impact you want to have on the world. It's about aligning your values, your passions, and your strengths towards something bigger than yourself, whether that's helping others, creating change, or fulfilling a personal mission. As I said, that sounds very definite and heavy. I really do agree with what Natalie Ellis said, is that a good working business doesn't have to be purpose aligned. And I also feel that maybe that's just the algorithm, that's possible as well, because you just end up in a corner of the internet now and again. I feel that there's a lot of emphasis on purpose. The podcasts I listen to, the content that I see is very much about how you should align everything you do with your purpose. I think that eventually everything you do will veer you towards your purpose, without it having to feel so heavy. So if I think of an example, is I could help people understand their finances better. I've been working in finance for over a decade now. It's where I started out. It's always been a part of my VA services, is to help with the financial administration. I really could help people a lot with getting that in order. But that's not what I'm here to help with, because it would bore me to tears to just do that, to only focus on that. I made it a part of my overall package. for the clients that I work with and the clients that I coach, understanding your finances better, because it will make you more efficient in your work. It will make your goals clearer, etc. So understanding your finances is absolutely part of what I do, but it's not the only thing I do. And I combined what I know of business from my own experience with the mistakes I helped solve for my clients over the years, with my own experiences as a business owner, as a mom. And it became a big old package of everything combined with the overall theme of being of service, of helping others grow. And then that's where the purpose comes in, because that's the impact I want to make. I want to create a ripple effect of happy families all around the world by helping these entrepreneurs master their businesses. But if I set out to say, okay, I'm going to be of service, I'm going to be helping others grow, that would feel so heavy that it probably would just keep me stuck at the starting line, just going, okay, how am I going to get there? So as I said, I think you naturally veer towards your purpose, because I could forever stay in finances, but that's not my purpose. So it eventually got me where I am now. And yeah, I think that when you work with your purpose, you'll be able to show up easier, even when things get rough or when results aren't what you want them to be. Knowing your purpose helps you prioritize and make decisions that are aligned with your bigger goals. Even if you can't really put it into words what your purpose is, as I said, you're going to veer towards it anyway, I think. And it will bring you satisfaction and a deeper layer of meaning to your work. And I think that's what a lot of people are searching for and always are reaching for. So it's, I don't know, I think you could look at it the other way around. Instead of writing down on a paper, this is my purpose, I'm going to work for this, you could also say, this is what I'm working on and with and what lights my fire, and that will get me towards my purpose. I hope you understand what I mean by turning it around. For me, that was the biggest problem with monetizing my blogs, is that I felt like a soul sucker. I tried to convince myself that I was helping people by having nicer homes and therefore making them happier. But I had one point that just broke me. One of my biggest competitors, she was not a competitor because she's one of the biggest bloggers out there, but she was my example. And the entrepreneurs I look up to, I always try to mark them as my competitors, because that will automatically lift me towards a higher level. So this is why I'm calling her my biggest competitor. She was comparing hair drying towels on her blog. The towels that when you washed your hair, you can put them on your head and you twist them around and you can clip them on and then they stay on without you having to fold an entire towel up on your head. Hair drying towels. And she's, as I said, she's like the biggest blogger on the block. And she had to make money with an article about comparing hair drying towels. And I just saw that and I felt so empty. And I was like, I can't do that. My brain would fry from just the sheer superficialness of it. I get that you're making money through affiliate products, but if you're a house blogger, DIY decor blogger, I get that there's more money to be made in lifestyle products, maybe. So that's where that pops up, and you as a blogger, you work from what people are looking for as well. But it just, I felt like my soul would be sucked out. And for me, the same went on with my first blog. I really started it out to help people. I came from a big old burnout that I had in corporate life. And I figured if I'm gonna Google ways to feel better, I might as well write them down on a blog. Maybe other people can read them and feel better too. So my goal was, even if one person reads this and feels better because of it, then I've achieved my goal. And then I hit about 10K visitors per month. And I figured I could monetize this. This would be nice. This could be my job. And that decision right there, that was just the death of my blog, because I started to make up blogs around themes and products that I could affiliate link. I did sponsored articles for products that were just a tad too far out of my niche. And no, it just didn't match. And I lost my drive massively because of it. I couldn't show up anymore. And eventually I couldn't find the motivation for the articles that made me successful in the first place. Because everything that I wrote down, I was like, okay, cool. This is a cool article. Now, how can I monetize it? And that just killed my spirits. And I think that had I veered to other directions, it might have worked. I could have started coaching people with the burnout. If I had more knowledge about the online space back then, I could have set up a course to deal with burnout. Something like that. It would have fit my purpose, it would have matched my blog, and it would have meant something for me. But I took it the wrong way and I failed it miserably. And I only realized that when I started my second blog and very quickly realized that this is a mistake. Coming back to the big P word, do you need to find your purpose? And as I said, I would say no. Don't hang too big of an emphasis on it, because I think that your purpose can change throughout your life as well. Mine has always been to help people, to be of service. This was something I did when I was a kid. I studied at the Hotel School The Hague, and which is business management with a service related touch, because you're studying hotel management basically. So everything is about guest experience, service very much. It's always been like a main thing throughout my life. But when I had kids, I think raising good humans also became a big part of my purpose. So I think that it can change throughout your life as well. But if you want to dig deeper, you can, of course. Because I do feel, even though I think that there's too big of an emphasis on it right now, I do feel that if you have it clear, then it will make it easier to define your visions, to define your goals. It will make stuff easier, at least if in what direction you're looking. So if you want to dig deeper and search for your purpose, go soul searching. There are 3 basic steps that you can take. And I think number 3 is the way to go. But I'll give the other 2 as well. First of all, look at your passions and your strengths. What's meant for you will find you. For example, I'm not passionate at all about rocket science or math. So I don't think that my purpose would be in that area. I don't think you need a big reflection on this, because I think that by now your purpose will already be in your life. I don't think your purpose is something that if you were to meditate for 6 hours, you would just come out of it saying, oh my God, my purpose is in this part of life that I haven't touched at all, that I don't know nothing about, or something like that. It will already be in your life in the way of your passions and your strengths. Number 2 is looking at your values. What matters most to you? Is it your family? Is it helping others? Is it making an impact on the world? For me, growth is a very important value. And so this is what I included in the services. I'm not just focusing on practical tools for female entrepreneurs to create a balance between their business and their lives. I also focus on the mindset behind it, helping them grow as a person. If I wouldn't incorporate that value into the services I offer, it would soon become very boring. As I said with the finance example earlier, it would just feel superficial and not fulfilling. So look at what values you have and see if you're already incorporating that in your life, in your business, because I think that's a way to touch with your purpose as well. But as I said, I think number 3 would be to experiment and explore. I happily made the same mistake twice because I didn't reflect on why I failed my first blog. I just let it die slowly and never really took a moment to realize why I did that. Why? Just let it go. Why I didn't show up for like 10K visitors a month. It's a lot of people. I always do this with social media as well. I imagine the amount of followers that we have on our Chateau account, for example. I imagine them showing up on our front lawn, and I would just go, that would be a lot of people. So yeah, why did I not show up for all those people? Because clearly they were visiting my blog because they found something there. And it's a shame I didn't reflect on that, because it took me the second time around to realize that making a big impact on the world, helping others become better people, that's what's important for me. And if I have a blog that's just focusing on monetizing stuff, to get others to buy it. That's not scratching my itch, so to speak. So if you're in any way unsure about your purpose, try something and just see where it leads you. Just don't forget to reflect on it every once in a while, and don't forget that your purpose can change too with changes in your life. In the monthly planner that I have and that I offer for free, I have a special tab that's for reflecting each month. So if this is something that you, low-key want to incorporate in your life, you can get that by clicking the link in the show notes. It will get you to get it, the monthly planner. It's in Notion, the software system that I'm so very excited about to work with. It contains my whole life. And I think it's very nice to every month, when I look at my goals, my planning for the month, first to reflect on what I did last month, because reflecting is keeping you aligned with your values, with your passions, with what's meant for you, I think. Otherwise, it's so easy to just get into goals and business and dry stuff. But I think reflecting, I wanted to say wet stuff. We'll get you to the wet stuff, but no. More the now I just have a pumping heart in my head. Reflecting will get you in touch with your soft side. Let's put it that way. It's a little less graphic. Okay, yeah, go get that monthly planner if you want to. And yeah, I hope this episode got you somewhere, and maybe think about what your purpose is, and if your current endeavors in life are aligned with your purpose, or at least with something that makes your heart beat faster. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in, and I'll see you in another episode. Have a nice day. Bye-bye. Thank you so much for listening to this episode of the Female Entrepreneurs Network podcast. I hope you loved what you heard today. And if you did, it would mean a world to me if you could leave a review. Because believe it or not, reviews on podcasts are actually still used to make sure more people get to see this podcast in their screens and maybe click on it and learn something as well. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next episode. Bye-bye.